My wife recently became obsessed with her appearance, started being more protective of her phone, and has been taking more out-of-town work trips, but I can't say with certainty that she's cheating, and I hope I'm wrong about everything. I, 42M, have recently been starting to wonder if my wife, 40F, might be cheating, but I'm not sure what to do from here. I have no smoking gun for evidence, so I don't want to confront her or bring it up in case nothing is happening, or to have her cover things up. It has just been small things and a spidey sense. About 4 months ago she started working out a lot more and became much more interested in how she looks. She is very attractive but never really wore much makeup or did much with her hair. She has also started being protective with her phone, which I know is a bad sign. It is normal for us to go into each other's phone, but no, it never leaves her side, and if I ask for it to take a picture or something, she will tell me to use mine. She has also been staying late at work more often and has been taking a few more out-of-town trips for work. In this last 4 months she hasn't initiated any kind of intimacy and only gives me pecking type of kisses. I tried to initiate with her a handful of times and she rejected me a few times, and a few times she let me go through with it but wasn't engaged and just laid there. It made me feel really bad, worse than getting rejected outright. I brought up the lack of intimacy a while back and she said that she was exhausted all the time from being a mom, work, and lifting weights. She said that she would try to do a better job and kissed me later that night, but nothing has changed. I have wondered if it might be some kind of midlife crisis kind of thing. There is a guy at her work that I am thinking could be trouble. My wife used to talk about him a lot, but a few months ago she quit mentioning him. But I know they still work closely together. From what I can gather, he is married with kids and told my wife that he is having marital issues. I met him briefly a few times and he basically ignored me. We were around a lot of other people. He isn't nearly as attractive as me and definitely not in great shape like me, not to brag but it's true. I am big and strong and he is kind of average and a little overweight. But he dresses flashy and is outgoing and likes to drink. I don't really like drinking and my wife has mentioned a few times that she wished I would go out drinking every now and then. I graduated high school and he has a master's degree. He also makes a lot more money than I do. I train fighters and love what I do, but make a very modest living. This guy probably makes 6x what I do and flaunts what he has. I just bring up all that as my assessment of how we differ. The biggest thing that I have been wondering about is that this last trip for work was at a tropical resort type of place, and my understanding at the time was that there were a big group of them going. It turns out that it was just my wife, the flashy guy, and the CEO. The CEO is very old and doesn't really interact socially, he is just all business. In my imagination, my wife and this other guy spent a lot of time together over that week doing who knows what. My dilemma is that I want to see if my gut feeling is right, but don't want to cause a bigger issue by accusing her or asking. We have had a few ups and downs over the years but have had a pretty good overall marriage from my side. No major issues or anything. I am not the most outgoing guy and I don't make much money, which has been a small issue for my wife. She says I am not living up to my potential and I could make a lot more money doing something else. I don't want to make it sound like she is obsessed with money in any way, but I know women are more comfortable with a bigger nest egg. She thinks I can do other things, but I am not really qualified for anything other than fighting or training fighters. That's basically been my entire life. Or, possibly being a personal trainer. None of those things are big money makers. But other than those things, she seems pretty happy. A friend of mine said I should keep my suspicions to myself and start doing things to spy and collect evidence, if it's there. But I feel weird about violating her privacy. If she is cheating, I can't imagine I would ever stay with her. I hope I am wrong about all of this. But thoughts of her cheating are starting to flood my mind and I feel like I need to find out either way. We have 2 kids and that is the part that scares me. I am involved in every part of my kids' lives and my heart would be broken to only see them half the time. Sorry for the long post. I would love to hear some ideas on how to deal with this. Commenter: I am so sorry dude, but with what you wrote I too believe she's having an affair. All the points add up to it. Midlife crisis is one thing, this is something totally different. I too think you need to dig deeper and collect evidence. And also yes, speak with a lawyer to find out your rights if she is having an affair. You could get primary custody maybe easier if you have the evidence to prove she is taking away from your kids by having a fling and not being present with them like she should be. You need to protect yourself and children, that's your stance right now. Or an opinion should be. Update 1. So here is the newest information. I was able to get the login information for our cell phone account. She uses her phone a lot for work and nothing looked weird until I started sorting the numbers and times. There were a ton of texts to one specific number at times very late at night, a few hours after we go to bed. I am going to see whose number that belongs to and find a way to get into her phone and see what name it is saved under. After I saw this I started to get emotional and angry. I tried to tell myself it could be a mistake or some girlfriend of hers. Last night I tried to initiate, expecting to be rejected. And rejected I was. She said she was sorry but was too tired and had a headache. I told her that I was feeling like we weren't connecting very well. She said she is sorry and will try to be better. She said that last time. I didn't push the issue or anything, just told her good night and went to bed. This morning she told me she was thinking about taking a girls' trip to Vegas. She doesn't gamble. I asked who she would go with and it was a few girls I never met. Apparently friends from college. Maybe all this is a coincidence but a lot of stuff is looking weird. Update 2. You can read the original post for background. Basically, I've been suspecting my wife might be cheating for a while. I finally did some snooping and looked at the detailed cell phone records online. I noticed that there were texts to one number that were made in the middle of the night. They were in the hundreds. I called the number from a pay phone and it went to one of her coworkers, the one I thought could be trouble. I was able to get her phone while she was in the shower and the text conversation was the one thing deleted. Also, that guy's number was saved in her phone and a female's name. I am now very worried about the out-of-town trips that she was on where this guy was with her. I had to leave the house and cool off. I was able to get it together enough to come home but don't know what to do from here. If I confront her with what I have, she will probably explain it away. I don't know if I should try to keep it quiet and get more evidence or if I should come out with it sooner. I am really angry. I am furious at her but also wanting to go after the guy. It will take everything I have to not do that. I am worried that she will admit to inappropriate flirting and I won't have enough evidence to get her to admit it all. Any advice on when to confront her? I am going to stay awake during the time she texts him and then interrupt her and ask her who she is texting. See if she lies to me. Update 3. I laid in wait last night after everybody went to bed. I pretended to be asleep and waited to see if she got out of bed to get on her phone. Sure enough, she gets up a little after midnight and goes into another room and closes the door. I wait a few minutes and I got up and quickly opened the door and walked up to her and said I couldn't sleep and asked what she was doing. I caught her mid-text and was standing over her too fast for her to delete anything. I watched her hand as she slowly tried to tuck the phone away. She said she couldn't sleep either and was texting a girlfriend. I had a plan and went into it. I got on top of her and started kissing her and asked if she wanted to fool around. As I expected, she said she couldn't. So I started laughing and tickling her and made a comment that she must be more into the girlfriend that she was texting than me. Then I started to playfully wrestle with her and got the phone. I could see the panic in her eyes. She tried to get it back from me but I turned away and held it in the air, like I was playing keep away. I was laughing and acting like I was having fun the entire time. I told her that I was going to call this girlfriend and ask if she was into my wife. My wife yelled out, "Please don't call her." I started walking away and pulled up the text messages and I saw one that said "Can't wait to see you tomorrow." I pressed the call feature and it seemed like it took forever, but sure enough the guy answered. I hadn't planned out what to say so I just hung up. Then I started reading through the texts in front of my wife. I asked her if she though her girlfriend answered, or a guy. She didn't say anything. Then I started reading off the text out loud and asked her why she was sending this to a guy at night. She said she didn't know. I asked her if she needed to tell me anything. She was quiet. Then I told her that I had looked at the cell phone records and knew everything. I knew when she would wake up to text this guy and that I knew who the guy was. She started crying and saying she was sorry. I kept my cool. I explained that the next few minutes were very important and if she didn't tell me the complete truth that there would be severe consequences. She said she started flirting with her coworker and that he was having marital issues and it turned into flirting. She said she never did anything with this guy. My fear was she would only admit to what I already knew. I told her that if she can't give me the entire truth that she needed to pack a bag and leave. She agreed to do that, as she cried and said she was sorry. Before she left the house she asked if I was going to leave her. I told her that it was late and we would discuss that later. She left for her mom's house and I haven't seen her since. But she was blowing up my phone so I turned it off. My plan is to try to find a marriage counselor and make an appointment. I want my wife to think I want to work things out for a while until then, when I will explain that I am at counseling to get walk through the process of splitting up. This entire incident last night was something I had planned out in my head. Since I was pretending to wrestle with her and tickling her I wanted to cover myself. So I recorded everything with my phone, just in case she tried to accuse me of something. I asked my friend if me recording in our state was legal and he said it was. I don't think she would ever falsely accuse me of anything but if I am leaving her, she might get desperate. I am 6 feet 4 inches and an athletic 240 pounds. I'm also an ex-fighter and now train fighters. So if there is any accusation of abuse I will not be believed and will get arrested and lose my kids. So my plan is to record everything from here on out just as an insurance policy. I am completely heartbroken right now. My entire family has been blown up. I will miss 50% of my kids' lives growing up and feel destroyed. I had suspected something but am still in shock. The worst part is that this is all just beginning. I want to confront the other guy but will need to restrain myself. I was told that he said I looked terrifying when he first saw me, so I would like to scare him. I also saw that he referred to me as the animal in one of the texts, after she made a comment about me not being too bright. I don't make much money or have a college degree but I am an intellectually curious person and read lots of books about all sorts of topics. I am not the smartest guy but I feel like I am not stupid. I will try to update as things go on. Not sure what advice I can get at this point. I am just devastated. Commenter. I think you should stray away from trying to scare him. This might not bode well for your custody case. I know you're hurting and you are very emotional right now. I think it would be smart to think every action through before doing something like scaring him. I'm following this story and I hope things work out the best they can for you. Update 4. I appreciate all the support I have received through this ordeal. I am going through a lot right now and wish I have had the time to respond to the advice and words of encouragement passed my way. To update, my attorney friend was able to recommend a lawyer that specializes in family law. Not only that, but supposedly this guy was also cheated on and these cases allow him to exact revenge. This is what my friend said when he recommended this lawyer. He is going to be very flexible on his fees and genuinely wants to help. Maybe this is on the positive side of the ledger. Now onto the other side, my wife admitted to the affair. She told me that it started as flirting, then turned into an emotional affair, but never turned physical. I saw right through that and then she finally admitted that it turned physical, which coincided with the point in time when she shut down intimacy with me. I got a lot more details than I thought I could take. It was a very hot and steamy affair. To say this has really messed me up would be an understatement to the highest degree. I am wrestling with my emotions and can't keep a thought in my head. I told my wife it would be best for her to stay with her mom for the time being and that I will take care of the kids, so they can be at home and have some stability. My attorney is working his magic in the meantime. I am in the house and this is a big advantage, according to him. I have also not told her that our marriage is over. She will find that out when she has served the papers, which will be coming soon. I can't keep the intrusive images of my wife and this guy out of my head. I coach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for professional and semi-professional fighters, and I'm trying to give them as much attention as I can. The physicality of my job seems to have been helpful. Obviously I'm also putting everything into my kids. Outside of BJJ, my passion is learning about new topics. I normally read for a few hours a night to unwind. But I haven't even been able to get through a paragraph without losing focus. After seeing that they were referring to me as a stupid animal, I imagine all the other things they may have said. The whole thing has really got to me. I have always been a happy person but the joy is just gone. On another note, the word has got out on what has happened and there have been a lot of people offering to assist in any way they can. It definitely helps to feel like I have support. A number of my friends' wives have sprung into action and said they know beautiful women that they want to hook me up with. Including a few that know me and are very interested in my upcoming single status. I won't be dating until this is all over with, and probably not for a while after that. But knowing that there are a lot of options is a nice feeling. I think I will be okay. Right now, it's just all about the kids. I will try to update at some point soon. My wife is hysterical and is pushing to stay married. I know I can't get over what she did, so staying together would be delaying the inevitable. Commenter. Big muscular guy, does BJJ, likes to read in his spare time, A1 detective skills. You're a catch, sir. Commenter 2. Just some things I'd like to say to you. It doesn't have to be said but I'll put it out there, this whole situation is messed up and unfair to you. I'm really sorry. You seem to be taking a very calculated approach to this divorce. That is fantastic, but I highly encourage you not to get comfortable and let your diligence falter. The courts are stacked against you. You have to win an unfair fight if you want to maintain your parental rights. You're not an animal and they're trashy people for saying as much. I can tell from your writing that you're at least reasonably intelligent, certainly not unintelligent, and only trashy people would look down on others for lacking intelligence. The way you describe reading for fun isn't something unintelligent people do. Totally off on a tangent, but if you are willing to take risks, opening up your own martial arts studio is something to consider for your financial future. You clearly have teaching experience, so all you need is a business model to let you capitalize on that. Update 5, 7 months later. Life has been chaotic, but I wanted to log back into this throwaway account and give an update on my situation. I had discovered my wife having an affair and also found out that she thought I was stupid and a loser for not earning a high salary. I filed for divorce and it should be wrapped up next month. We will have 50-50 custody and she will be paying spousal support, since she out-earns me by a large margin. That is the current legal situation. Now on to the other fallout. I am heartbroken, as are my kids. I never thought I would be a single dad, but here I am. My wife seems to be falling into some kind of depression. The guy she cheated with decided that she wasn't worth the trouble. From what I am told, she has started drinking and going out with a lot of random guys that she meets online. There have been more than a handful of times where she called me and begged me to take her back, so she can have her old life back. Part of me wanted that, but I have held strong. After she found out how much money she will have to pay me every month, that seems to have made her angry towards me. So I don't have to worry about her calling. My kids don't understand. Every second they aren't with me, I feel miserable. I am also lonely all the time. I haven't spent much time with friends and mostly just stay home. The girl that works at a coffee shop I frequent even asked me if everything was okay, because I looked sad. I guess I'm not hiding it as well as I think. There are people I know that want to set me up with women they know, but I don't want to do it because I feel like I am branded as the guy whose wife cheated on him. It has been so long, I have no idea how to date. I had a few fighters do really well on a pretty public stage and that has been the only spark I have felt in a long time. I really don't know what I will do next. At some point, I need to snap out of it and move on. I just haven't reached that level of motivation though. I did have somebody I know get into contact with the other guy's wife, and show her the proof I had. I just couldn't live with nothing happening to him. I am not allowed to go after him, so this was the next best thing. She didn't believe it at first, but then I heard about there being major marriage issues for them. As far as I know, they are together but on the rocks. I have a lot of anger over everything. It is crazy to think how life can be fine one minute, then completely upside down the next. One positive that has happened is that I did meet a girl through some friends that I am interested in. I haven't asked her out or anything though. She is stunningly beautiful but is about 14 years my junior. I don't know that's a major issue, but that is a pretty big age gap. Given what I have been though, I think my confidence has really been dinged. I feel like she is too attractive for me. She might actually be, I suppose. But I have been thinking about her a lot. So that's been the last half year of my life. I have to say it has been the worst I have ever felt. I have always been a very happy person but just feel dark and gloomy now. Commenter. At some point, I need to snap out of it and move on. I just haven't reached that level of motivation though. There is not single moment where that occurs. It is a daily walk in that direction, until one day, you realize you are closer to the end of the trip than the beginning. So it is easier to just keep going. Make the decision to walk in the right direction every day. Update 6, 2 years later. I haven't been on Reddit in a very long time. I logged in and saw that there were some people asking for updates to my situation, so I thought I would let everybody know that I am doing well. I found out my wife was cheating on me with a coworker. Then I divorced her. I was with her for about 15 years in total, so to say my new life has been an adjustment would be an understatement. I do have moments where I feel a sense of sadness or loss, but those are fleeting. For the most part, I feel great. My kids are doing well and they are with me a lot. One of the things that happened after the divorce was my wife had to take in more accounts at work to pay for her new single living situation, as well as spousal support to me. She earned a lot more than me. When the pandemic hit, I had a very flexible schedule, so I was able to keep the kids with me and do homeschooling. Since my job involved physical contact with other people, the pandemic had slowed that down. Not a lot of opportunities for my guys right now. So in a way, it has been like I'm a stay-at-home dad. I took some time to myself after the whole ordeal. The younger girl I was interested in took a long assignment with her company in Europe. We stayed in touch through technology. After her assignment ended, she came back and we have been together ever since. She loves me and my kids. She is an extremely compassionate and considerate person. Before we were introduced, I was told that there was an amazing woman that resembled Wonder Woman and was the nicest person you could ever meet. I thought it was too good to be true, but she is absolutely the real deal. I think there will probably be some next steps in our relationship coming soon. Things for my ex have not really worked out. She started drinking and hooking up with random guys she met online. Having to take more accounts has also taken a toll on her. Just in the last few years, she looks like she has aged 15 years. She was always pretty, but the last time I saw her she looked ragged. Like her life force was depleted. A weird thing to say, but that's what it looked like. Her best friend told me that she is miserable and hard to be around. I don't think I will ever understand how a person that is seemingly happy and in control of their life can spiral into such a dark place. My ex's friend did also tell me that she never thought I would leave her after the affair. I think she felt a sense of control over me because of her high income. So the affair had consequences that she didn't anticipate. I do hope she finds peace, for my kids' sake. Other than some challenges due to the pandemic, things are great. I am so glad I immediately ended my first marriage, rather than dragging it out. I knew I was making the difficult decision, but that it was the right thing to do. Then I just grinded along. I have no problem inching a little forward every day, knowing eventually I will get through. If you are in this situation, you need to think about things in the long term. You might feel devastated at first. Then sad. Then depressed. Then hopeless. But no matter what you push ahead, work out hard every day too. The key is to try to do one thing every day that improves you or adds to your skill set, not self-help stuff, but real skills. I got into making short films of the guys I train and learned about videography and editing, which has been a fun hobby. I read more books to learn about all sorts of things. I just try to do something every day. Small things add up over time. You just need to make sure you are putting in the work and let yourself be patient.